Oh, you think this is indecent? I'll show you indecent. Gee, it's a little warm in my house. I don't think I feel like wearing a top anymore.
Many people remember Everybody Loves Raymond as one of television's funniest family shows. Away from the laughter, successful episodes, and happy public image, hidden tensions and private struggles were quietly growing among the cast. Now, at 68, new stories are emerging about what really happened during filming. Some reports reveal that Patricia Heaton kept major personal secrets hidden while playing Deborah Baron. So, what exactly was taking place behind the cameras? And what shocking drama did the cast try so hard to keep from the public? Pay gap and cast changes. As Everybody Loves, Raymond became a huge success. Tension began to grow behind the scenes because of the large pay disparity. By 2003, Romano was earning $1.8 million for each episode, while Garrett was making only $160,000. The huge gap caused frustration among the cast. Garrett eventually walked off the show in protest, and several other cast members supported him. In the end, the protest worked. The actors received higher salaries, and the cast returned, helping the show keep its strong energy and close family feeling. The show also made changes to the children's names. Family sitcoms often include kids to make the family feel more realistic, and Everybody Loves. Raymond followed that idea. Romano based much of the show on his real family. His actual children were named Alexandra, Gregory, and Matthew. In the pilot episode, the Baron children had the same names, Allie, Gregory, and Matthew, but Romano later felt the similarities were becoming too personal. The boys' names were changed to Michael and Jeffrey, while Allie's name stayed the same. This allowed him to keep some personal inspiration while giving himself more creative freedom. The young cast changed as well. The original twin boys were played by Justin and Drew Ferrer, but they were later replaced by real-life twins Sawyer and Sullivan Sweeten, who were the younger brothers of Madeline Sweeten, the actress who played Allie. Even though the children did not strongly resemble Romano, their natural chemistry helped make the Baron family feel believable and lovable. Garrett, who played Ray's brother Robert, became one of the biggest stars on the show and won 3 Emmy Awards for his role. But behind the comedy, he was secretly struggling with alcoholism. Years later, Garrett revealed that he had been a high-functioning alcoholic during the early seasons of the show and sometimes performed while under the influence of alcohol. Realizing how dangerous the situation could become, he stopped drinking before the end of the first season. Romano did not originally like the show's title. In the opening sequence of the series, Ray introduces his family while standing on a moving conveyor belt, before Robert says the line, "Everybody Loves Raymond." The title actually came from a sarcastic joke made by Romano's real-life brother, who worked as a police officer in New York City. He once joked, "I go to work, people shoot at me. Raymond goes to work, and everybody loves Raymond." CBS first used the phrase only as a temporary title, but it eventually stayed. Romano worried that the title might sound arrogant, but the show's success and praise from critics soon made it feel like the perfect choice. The title even inspired the later comedy series Everybody Hates Chris, helping cement its place in television history. The show also included a hidden tribute to Patricia Heaton's father. In one episode, Deborah casually mentions a co-worker named Chuck Heaton. This was a quiet Easter egg honoring Patricia Heaton's real-life father, who was a respected journalist. However, it was a small but meaningful detail that connected her personal life to her character on the show. So, what difficulty did Patricia face? Was it the usual challenges superstars go through? Let's find out. Patricia Heaton's challenges. During the filming of Everybody Loves Raymond, Patricia Heaton faced a personal challenge that most viewers never even realized was happening. While working on the hit sitcom, she became pregnant twice. At the time, she was already raising 3 children. Yet, she continued filming the show while carefully keeping both pregnancies hidden from the audience. The producers and crew worked hard behind the scenes to make sure nothing looked different on screen. Patricia was often dressed in loose clothing, oversized jackets, and baggy outfits that covered her growing stomach. In many scenes, props such as pillows, laundry baskets, kitchen counters, or large bags were placed in front of her. Camera angles were also planned very carefully so viewers would not notice the changes. The effort required a lot of creativity, planning, and teamwork from everyone involved. Most fans watching the series had no idea she was pregnant at all, which showed just how skilled and coordinated the cast and crew truly were. Years later, in 2009, Patricia Heaton found herself back in the headlines for a very different reason. Her former assistant filed a small legal claim involving unpaid overtime wages. The disagreement was relatively minor compared to the major scandals that often surround Hollywood celebrities, but it still attracted public attention because of Heaton's fame. The situation reminded many people that celebrities are still expected to follow the same workplace rules and legal responsibilities as everyone else. Even successful television stars can face ordinary disputes connected to jobs, contracts, and employee rights. Behind the cameras, the relationships between the cast members were often more complex and interesting than fans realized. Patricia Heaton and Peter Boyle sometimes had very different political beliefs. Heaton was openly conservative, while Boyle held more liberal views. Despite those differences, the two remained close friends and deeply respected one another. Heaton occasionally joked about their political disagreements in interviews, showing that their friendship was strong enough to survive different opinions. When Peter Boyle passed away in 2006, Patricia attended his funeral and later spoke warmly about him. She remembered how kind, caring, and supportive he had been during one of the hardest periods of her life, especially during her struggle to maintain sobriety. Their bond off-screen was built on compassion and mutual respect rather than politics. One reason Everybody Loves Raymond felt so natural and believable was that many of its stories came directly from real life. Much of the humor in the series was inspired by the everyday experiences of Ray Romano and the show's creator, Philip Rosenthal. The writers frequently turned ordinary family arguments, awkward moments, and household frustrations into comedy episodes. Rosenthal once admitted that a simple disagreement with his wife over a can opener eventually inspired an entire storyline for the show. Eventually, however, the creative team decided it was better to end the show while it was still successful rather than allow it to lose its quality. Philip Rosenthal later joked that if the series had continued much longer, the writers might have needed to start causing arguments in their own homes just to find fresh material for new episodes. The decision to stop the show while it remained popular helped preserve its reputation as one of television's most beloved family sitcoms. Using real-life stories also created some awkward moments for the Romano family. Ray Romano's brother, Richard Romano, who worked as a real police officer, became the inspiration for the character Robert on the show. While this helped make the character feel authentic, it also meant that many embarrassing details from Richard's real life sometimes appeared on television. His fellow police officers often teased him whenever an episode copied something that actually happened to him. One storyline focused on Robert borrowing things from co-workers, and Ray later admitted that this habit came directly from Richard's real behavior. Audiences found the scenes hilarious, but for Richard, seeing parts of his real personality turned into comedy could sometimes feel a little uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Peter Boyle's journey to becoming Frank Baron almost happened by accident. Frank, the loud, grumpy, stubborn, yet strangely lovable father on Everybody Loves Raymond, became one of Boyle's most unforgettable roles. However, the actor nearly stumbled into the part unexpectedly. When Peter Boyle traveled to Universal Studios to meet Ray Romano and Philip Rosenthal, the day quickly turned frustrating. He brought his entire family with him, and everything seemed to go wrong. There were problems with studio security, confusion about parking, and at one point, Boyle even walked into the wrong building by mistake. By the time he finally reached the meeting, he was already irritated and exhausted. Later, Boyle laughed about the experience and admitted that his genuine bad mood may actually have helped him get the role. His natural frustration perfectly matched the personality of Frank Baron, the constantly annoyed father who always seemed ready to complain about something. Ray Romano and Philip Rosenthal immediately saw how perfectly Boyle fit the character. What started as an exhausting and frustrating day ended up changing Boyle's career forever. Though his performance as Frank Baron became legendary, he suffered from what no one expected. So, what happened to Peter Boyle's health? Did he recover from it? Let's find out. Peter Boyle's battle with cancer. In 2002, fans of Everybody Loves Raymond had no idea that one of the show's beloved stars was quietly facing a serious personal battle behind the scenes. Peter Boyle, who played the hilarious and stubborn Frank Baron, was diagnosed with cancer that same year. Instead of making the news public, he decided to keep it private. Only his closest family members and a small circle of trusted co-workers knew the truth. One of those people was his longtime co-star and on-screen wife, Doris Roberts. At one point, Boyle asked Roberts if he should tell the rest of the cast about his illness. Roberts gave him simple but powerful advice. She told him he did not need people constantly treating him like a sick man. What mattered most was that everyone continued working normally and kept creating the show they all loved. Boyle listened carefully to her words and chose to carry on as if nothing had changed. Even while dealing with treatments and health struggles, he continued performing with the same humor, sharp timing, and unforgettable energy that made Frank Baron such an iconic television character. Viewers watching at home never realized the pain he was quietly carrying behind his warm smile and comedic performances. Sadly, in 2006, just 1 year after Everybody Loves Raymond came to an end, Peter Boyle passed away at the age of 71 due to complications related to multiple myeloma and heart disease. His death deeply affected fans and cast members alike. Yet, his legacy never faded. Through his brilliant wit, lovable grumpiness, and heartfelt performances, Boyle left behind some of the most memorable moments in sitcom history. The popularity of another fan-favorite character almost led to an entirely new chapter for the series. Brad Garrett's character, Robert Baron, became so beloved by audiences that the creators seriously discussed giving him his own spin-off show. The idea was exciting and very different from the original series. Robert would leave his family behind and move to Philadelphia, hoping to begin a fresh new life as a gym teacher. The show would have followed his struggles to adapt to a new city, a new career, and life outside the shadow of his loud and overbearing family. Series creator Phil Rosenthal pitched the idea to CBS, and the network reportedly showed real interest. For a while, it seemed like Robert Baron might continue entertaining audiences in his own series. But despite the promising concept, creative disagreements eventually stopped the project from moving forward. In the end, the spin-off never made it beyond the planning stage, leaving fans to wonder What could have been? Another memorable face connected to the show was Maggie Wheeler, who appeared as Linda, a friend connected to the Baron family. Interestingly, Wheeler originally auditioned for the role of Deborah Baron. Although the role ultimately went to Patricia Heaton, the producers were so impressed by Wheeler's personality and talent that they created a recurring role for her instead. She gladly accepted, becoming another familiar and enjoyable part of the show's world. As for Doris Roberts, her impact on television stretched far beyond just one sitcom. Her portrayal of Marie Baron became legendary. She perfectly balanced comedy, love, nosiness, and chaos, creating one of the most unforgettable television mothers ever seen. When Roberts passed away in 2016 at the age of 90, many fans felt as though a special era of television had truly come to an end. Over a career that lasted more than 6 decades, Roberts earned 5 Emmy Awards and a Screen Actors Guild Award, building a reputation as one of the most respected and beloved actresses in television history. Her performances continue to make audiences laugh years after her passing, and her role in Everybody Loves Raymond remains one of the defining sitcom performances of all time. Meanwhile, Patricia Heaton became one of television's most admired sitcom mothers thanks to her role as Deborah Baron. She brought honesty, humor, frustration, warmth, and realism to the everyday struggles of family life. Audiences connected deeply with her character because she felt genuine and relatable. Her incredible performance earned her 2 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actress in 2000 and 2001. When Everybody Loves Raymond finally ended in 2005, the emotional goodbye was far more difficult than many people realized. During the final rehearsal, Heaton became so overwhelmed with emotion that she burst into tears and temporarily lost her voice, forcing production to pause the taping. The moment showed just how close the cast had become after spending years working together like a real family. After the series ended, Heaton successfully continued her television career with The Middle from 2009 to 2018, and later Carol's Second Act from 2019 to 2020. Beyond acting, she also became a successful author and an outspoken supporter of several charitable and social causes that are deeply important to her. How did Ray Romano come to the spotlight? Was it as a result of hard work? Let's find out. Ray Romano's breakthrough. Before Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano spent over 10 years building his comedy career. He performed in small comedy clubs and even worked normal jobs like delivering couches just to support himself. His big break came when he appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman. Letterman and his production company were impressed and decided to work with him to create a new show. That idea eventually became Everybody Loves Raymond, a sitcom inspired partly by Ray's real family life and shows like Seinfeld. The series went on to become a huge success, running for 9 seasons, winning 15 Primetime Emmy Awards, and later being listed among the greatest TV shows of all time. The family home shown in the series was a real house used for exterior shots. It was located at 135 Margaret Boulevard in Merrick, New York, and was valued at about $500,000 as of 2018. Right across the street was another house used for Frank and Marie, located at 136 Margaret Boulevard, helping create the feeling that the two families lived very close together, sometimes even uncomfortably so. Behind the scenes, the show followed a very strict weekly routine. On Mondays, the scripts were read through. Tuesdays were dedicated to rewrites and rehearsals. Wednesdays involved executive reviews. Thursdays were used for setting up camera positions, and Fridays were reserved for filming in front of a live audience. The writing team often drew inspiration from real-life family situations, turning everyday experiences into comedy that felt natural and relatable. The creator, Phil Rosenthal, worked closely with the team through long discussions to perfect each story, and director Will Mackenzie explained that many scripts were completed well before filming began each season. Rosenthal also preferred sticking closely to the written scripts, allowing only small changes during filming. Actor Brad Garrett later said this organized style was very different from the looser, more improvised feel of shows like Seinfeld. What made Everybody Loves Raymond stand out was its focus on realistic family life and emotional truth. But how was the movie released? And when was it released? Let's find out. Releasing Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody Loves Raymond was released in full-on DVD by HBO in different regions, including regions 1, 2, and 4. In Australia, the box set first came out in August 2008. In 2006, the first 5 seasons were released again with smaller, more compact packaging. Later, between 2009 and 2012, the North American DVD versions were updated and re-released in standard-sized cases. Even earlier, the very first season had also been released on VHS in September 2004. All episodes were available to stream on Netflix until 2016, when the show was removed from the platform. One interesting detail is that the Season 6 DVD included an episode called Marie's Sculpture, which had never been shown during the original TV broadcast. It was finally released about 5 years later. The show also had a long journey in television reruns. In December 1998, WPIX in New York and KTLA in Los Angeles, both owned by Tribune Broadcasting, bought the syndication rights from King World Entertainment. Reports said King World earned between $90,000 and $100,000 each week from licensing fees, along with 1.5 minutes of advertising time per episode. Reruns were first planned for fall 2000, but were pushed to 2001, so they would not compete with other sitcom reruns. The syndication deal lasted about 4.5 years, keeping the show on air until 2004. In January 1999, TBS also bought cable rights for 4 years. After that, the show continued airing on local stations until 2016, when it moved to TV Land, where it still airs today. In Canada, it can be seen on CMT and Deja Vu. In the United Kingdom, it has aired on several networks, including Channel 4's weekday morning lineup. The worldwide distribution was handled by Warner Brothers International Television, while King World managed U.S. syndication until 2007, when CBS television distribution took over. CBS still holds the American rights, while HBO and Warner Brothers handle international releases. In Australia, the series is available on Foxtel, and in India, it has aired on channels like Comedy Central UK 10 Peach and Ramadi Now. So, what do you think about Patricia Heaton's shocking revelation? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.